Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ET Auto Fireside Chat. Today I'm joined by Mr. VC Sehgal, Chairman, Motherson Group. He is also Chairman of Samvardhana Motherson Group, India's one of the largest component maker, or rather largest component maker. Today they have made one of the biggest announcements, that's the demerger of their companies. Thank you so much, Mr. Sehgal, for joining ET Auto. Can you give our viewers a sense what does this demerger mean for the group?
Thank you very much, Nabil, for having me. Look, we have had an exponential growth. The first thing to understand is that in 1993, when we listed, we were a 19 crore company. And in those 19 crores, we were one country, that was India, one plant that was in Noida and servicing Maruti. Today, we are somewhere around 62, 63,000 crores, So if a company had grown at 10% a year, you'd probably be about 700 crores in 27 years. If you had grown at 15, you would have been about 2,000 crores. We have grown every year 35%. That has brought us to 62,000 crores. Now, in the process, we have accumulated a lot of the companies, a lot of acquisitions have been done. Some could not be done into the mother company because Sumitomo was a big partner and always will be a big partner with us. And they then somewhere around 2012 asked us that can we look at a scenario where only wiring harness is taken out, and we could do that. So multiple efforts have been made over the past 8 years to try to simplify the group. A lot of the investors, the stakeholders were also feeling a bit left out because there was another 49% which was missing of the main companies. And every time the questions would come on minority interests and why minority interest has been taken out and why such a big portion. So what we've done in the 8 years, we have tried very hard to please everybody, to try and make sure that we continue to deliver value to all the stakeholders. So with this announcement in January 30th of this year, we actually hired some of the best brains in the industry, and these people in their wisdom has given us this particular solution. That's why we have come up with this new solution where the wiring harness portion of domestic, only India business will come out in one particular company, and the other portion will have all the residual wiring harness, and we had plastics, and we had Kalsani Kansai, we were making air cons, we were doing a lot of things, and the joint ventures, and all the 49% of SAMIL, and plus their joint ventures also come in to this particular new company. So I think what we are delivering to the shareholders as of the new scheme, if it is approved and allowed by the government, it would be that you will have a mirror shareholding in the domestic wiring harness, and extra you will get is the SAMIL portion of the new company. Those particular things also you will have shareholding in that. So I think it's a very, very complex deal. It takes a lot of time to understand, but it is a very fair and transparent deal which we are giving to the shareholders.
How do you think this will impact your balance sheet? What the people, investors can look forward to it?
So what, Nabil, what we have done is there's a very comprehensive 60, 70 page presentation that we have made, and we have uploaded it into our website, which will clearly explain to you what all is being done and how the whole deal is going to get structured, and then move ahead on that. But finally, Nabil, you have to also understand, while we have grown in a CAGR of almost about 35% every year, year on year for the last 27 years in the top line, we have also delivered a value to the investor of 32% year on year for the last 27 years. And believe me, we will ensure that we keep on going ahead with the same thoughts in our mind.
If we understand, there is a geographical split also. What is going to change there? If you could give us an idea briefly.
So Sumitomo very clearly wanted that only the domestic wiring harness business, which is done by us directly, without any joint venture is to be brought into this new company. So we have done that. So almost about 80% of the business will go into the new SAML, the new portion over there. And you have,
Earlier, MSSL has the largest chunk of business.
yeah, because it was 51% owner of SMR PVV. But
Yeah.
now it'll become 100% of that, and that portion will be taken out into a new into a new company, where Sumitomo's portion will come down from 26% or something like that to about 17 odd percent.
You have always said that you act on at the behest of your customers, your partners. You have two biggest partners, that's Sumitomo and Volkswagen Group. What was their idea on this? How much influence was of your partners and customer on this?
So I think customer side, to be honest, there has been no linkage with this particular demerger. But I think my customers are going to be very, very happy for the simple reason that uh, we are now a much more independent company, in the sense we don't have any restrictions of the Keiretsu of Japan or other problems that Sumitomo Sa had. So just to give you one example, Sumitomo Sa agreed to do the Calsonic Kansai joint venture in Motherson Sumi, but could not agree to Magneti Marelli in Motherson Sumi. So we did it in the other company. So they have their own limitations, and I don't blame them. They have to look at their own situation in Japan and act accordingly. So with this, we will solve all that particular thing. So I'm sure Sumitomo is happy, and also the customer is happy.
Do you also think that this step will help you in some geographies where you are more leveraged than India or some other geographies? Do you see some kind of change in that scenario also?
Actually, we will have huge opportunities. I don't see any challenges per se, but we will have huge opportunities, because there are many geographies where Sumitomo-san is not very comfortable if we go there uh, with the local company. That's why they insisted that they want only an India play, just India. So that's the reason we won't even go to Sri Lanka.
Okay, we talked about Motherson Sumi's growth, that everybody knows that it is one of the fastest growing component company. You had always achieved your 5-year plan. This is probably for the first time when you are missing your 5-year plan. What is your take on it? When do you think you'll be able to achieve it? Still that run for the top line continue to be there, or there is a shift in strategy? You
Uh,
wanted to be $18 billion and $26 billion at group level by now, but it doesn't seem to be happening now. How much delay we can expect?
I
Or are
think
we still pursuing that?
so, Nabil, we are going to be coming out with our next 5-year plan as of September, latest October this year. We wanted to do it in June, but for obvious reasons, we have not been able to do that. I think Motherson does not believe in giving excuses. We have a clear slogan says no excuses. I think it is important for you to understand that our top line is not just that, is not the target. The target is top line plus bottom line. 18 billion at 40% ROS, 26 billion at 40% ROS. So in Motherson, it's very famous. Our guru taught us that top line is vanity, bottom line sanity, and cash in bank reality. So I think the markets were pretty much surprised when we closed our year this year in March 2020. Our cash balances, our loans were at the lowest, 11-quarter low on the debt side. And every single thing was looking very the same. We were sitting at almost 10,000 plus kind of a crore kind of a thing that we could gather up immediately, kind of a thing. So a very strong performance. But I think what went wrong was that in January and February, we started to see the China effect. When the COVID attacked, we guys suffered the first, because China, it happened the first time. As you know, that people had gone for their Chinese New Year holiday in January end, and they extended the holiday for 15 days because of the first lockdown in China. So we had that particular hit also. And also globally, the amount of money that has been given to the industry to stabilize them is legendary. I mean, you know, the number is in 7 trillion US dollars worth, you know, globally, if you put all the money together. So I think that particular thing delayed the collapsing of certain companies which we were very accurately following, but it delayed that. But I think that is only temporary. It is only going to be there for the next 6 months, maybe a year max. So I'm sure we have not lost track of our top line. We will come out with that. The new target would be even that much more ambitious. So we are going to continue. And one COVID is not going to stop Motherson from thinking differently.
That's a very positive thought. That goes for the counterparts also in India and overseas. You are one of the most globalized auto component makers from India, if I may say it. So you have over 60-70% of revenue coming from outside India, if I'm not wrong. Looking at the
90,
current 90%.
yeah,
Okay.
India is about 11%.
Okay, 11, India is 11%. So, uh, you will be the best person to give a sense what has really changed after COVID, and are we coming back on track? Which are the geographies you see, coming back faster?
Nabil, again, a very good question. I think what is important is that at least what we have seen globally is that there is a massive shift in people's mindset. Earlier on, you know, people were very much carried away with case, you know, connected car, autonomous, shared vehicle, and electric, etc., etc. I think that particular change has gone right through to the consumer. The message is very strong. COVID teaches us that personal transportation is going to be a preferred mode now. Think about it. The cycles are all sold out. Bicycles are sold out in the world. You know, even scooters, two-wheelers. I mean, whatever people can buy, which gives them the personal transport, is something which everybody is putting their money in. I think the thing was best answered by a particular person who said that he doesn't want to take a plane, he doesn't want to take a train, he doesn't want to take a bus. He wants anything to take a holiday, but he wants to do it on his own vehicle. Even a bicycle is okay with him. So I think if we ask ourselves that question, you will also answer the same. Globally, we were very it's a pandemic, all the bad things in the world happened. We are very sorry for that. But as a business, we learned something really fantastic. We saw the first effects coming in China. Do you know that in somewhere around in February first week, we actually exported masks, face masks to China from Dubai because we have our purchasing centers in Dubai. They actually collected 150 plus thousand masks and sent it to China because the new law that came from the government was that all associates have to wear a mask, otherwise they're not allowed into the plant. We knew then that masks are going to become important if anywhere else it spreads. So we were that much better prepared. While China opened up and the response and the customer demand and all that came there, we could actually see that whole thing progressing very well. So in that sense, being a global player gave us a tremendous advantage. And we feel that as of now, if you look at China, you look at Japan, Korea, they're working 3 shifts, they're working regular. There is no this thing over there. And I'm sure that globally also, you will see the same thing happening, almost every this thing. So from there, it will move first to Europe. Europe will move to America, then probably India and Asia will come follow at the last.
One last question. The 18 billion target or 26 billion target, how far is your group now from achieving this? Because you stand at about 12 billion, 11 point some billion dollars right now.
11.3.
Yeah.
I think the 26 billion target the group gave up on that particular thing because one of the big acquisitions which was done by one of our collaborators. So we couldn't really say anything to them. And they took it at a fair price. So that's their victory. We don't have any, bad feelings about that. But The the muscle target got impacted surely because, as in Europe, almost about 3 trillion euros was given. So a lot of the industry, and gratefully also our factories got that for making sure that we don't have unemployment and things like that. So I think it's just a matter of 6 months and 8 months. And Nabil, you can never, ever time acquisition to perfection. Trust me. That's my learning
So
from.
we see a few more acquisitions coming up in next 6 to 8 months. I heard that you were looking at 2, 3 very closely. So how is that shaping? Uh,
We are still very, very close with them. They are still available, but I think they still have some dry powder left because of the, uh, you know, the monies given by the relative governments. So maybe 6 months, 8 months, maybe.
we'll have that. Thank you so much for talking to ET Auto. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.